Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I did the stock picks. I deposited $100 into my average invest. So what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe Dividends portfolio. And we can see the value right now is at $259,482 and 22 cents. This is live, so this will be changing. We can see over the last year here on the chart that it's mostly gone up and to the right with a gain of 19.55%. We can see last year where we were at about the 210 mark. We've had lows into the 190s, and we've rebounded well into the 200,000 at 250, and then we had a low again 260 mark. So that's just a little bit of the history there. You can see the dividends earned over the last 12 months, $11,012.28. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into the activity log, and we'll see what those buys were. See the 5 buys. Again, it was $20 for each of these. And what I'm selecting is not investment advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing with my portfolio, and you can decide what you want to do with your own money. So you can see here's the 5 buys with the $100. First up was Waste Management, and then Lockheed Martin, and then the Broadcom, $20, and then to round it out, McDonald's was my last selection. So what we're going to do next is we're going to see what these buys, these are of course fractional shares because all the share prices of these investments are over $20, so it's buying a fractional, but even $20 into each of these for a total of $100 will increase my how that's calculated here. And we're going to go over to my Google Docs spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below so you can see this, and we'll let this load up here, and then we'll get it to about 75% so we can fit it onto the screen. So we'll go to 75% here. And what this shows is you can see the company ticker symbol, the current share price, which is using a Google Finance function there. It pulls it automatically, and again, this is live, so it's actually going to be updating the share prices as well as the value of the portfolio. You can see the average share price, the number of shares that I own. Here's the market value of each investment. Here's my cost basis. Here's my gain or loss. It looks like everything in the portfolio, I am a gain on everything, so we can see the percent gain or loss. And then here is the dividend paid. This is quarterly, except for the 2 monthly pairs that I have. You can see that, and the 2 monthly pairs are in blue here, which are Realty Income and BST. And we can see the current yield, and here's the yield on my cost. And of course, the yield on my cost is going to be higher for all of these because I bought everything at a lower share price. You can see, for instance, Broadcom, I've more than doubled my money on this, and then of course my yield percentage is over double as a result. And there's 52 different positions in the portfolio, and right now they are arranged by the pay dates, and we can see what the next dividend is going to be. And since one of those selections was actually Broadcom right on top, and they haven't announced their new dividend yet or when they're going to pay it, but I know it's going to be at the end of September, and so we're going to see what the next dividend is and the change. What I did was I put the current dividend for each of the 5 positions. We're going to see those change, and we're also going to see the monthly rate, quarterly, and annual cash flow is going to change for the whole portfolio. We can see here in the green, we're in the month of August, so we're just about ready to close out the month. I haven't received the last 2 dividends, but I'll show you what I've received so far. And so far the sum is $160.73, but the big payer here, BST, has not yet paid, and that's really going to boost those dividends. And we can see here's the actual dividend that's actually paid me. In the green here, here's the total dividends paid for each of these investments. You can see with Verizon, $367. But take a look at like BST, that one has paid me over $7,700 in dividends. You can see here, I also tracked the last increase when there was a dividend increase announced. For example, Broadcom, last December, they had a 14% dividend increase, but some of them are single digit ones, like Allstate last February was 3%. Anything over 5%, I've got that in green. And then anything that's above $10 in dividends, it's in green. So you can see anything under 10. I'd like to get everything above $10 and get everything in the green. And then of course the pay date, like I said, everything is arranged by that. And I'm just going to show you some other things in here. You can see the total market value of this sheet, so I don't have to go to M1 all the time. I can just pop up this sheet and it pulls up everything live. Here's my cost basis. Here's my gain or loss on all of my investments. And what's here in the blue is, since I have 2 monthly pairs, I have to account for those 2 additional times. And that's what this array is here, is just putting the values of BST and O. And then what we're doing is we're adding them in twice. That's the H60 times 2. So we get a total quarterly count of all the dividends here, the 3,018.36. I divide that by 3 to get the average monthly dividend, because some months pay more than others. So to smooth that out, I come up with the average here. And of course you can see the annual. I have other things in here like my strategy, and this is my Friday buy, so this is $100 of my deposits, and on Monday I did a buy as well, so I'm just doing 2 buys a week at $200 per week, and all the dividends are reinvested back into the company which paid them. And my rule is also, if a dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold. I'm a buy and hold investor. Then I have some goals here. I've gotten quite a few of them accomplished, and there are some that I still have to complete. And since SCHD makes up the majority of this portfolio, I've been tracking the dividends here. And we'll have a Q3 one here in September. I think it's week 3 of September. We'll get that new dividend for SCHD. We'll see what it is. And I'm also tracking like the high watermarks of like a total stock market index like VTI. You can see we're over 6% of the last high watermark that I put in here. And then even same with SCHD, we are at all-time highs as well. So what I do next is going to go back to M1 before it times out. We're going to go to the Holdings tab, and we're going to update my Google Docs spreadsheet with the new shares of the 5 positions where I bought fractional shares in. And I have a quick and easy way of doing that just by grabbing everything starting with the name column and then grabbing all this data. Scrolling down, we're just going to do a simple copy. Okay, once this laptop is running a little bit slow, but once I'm able to do the copy here, we're going to do the copy, and then we're going to do a paste special onto the Google Docs spreadsheet. Like I said, it's going to change a few of the things. It's going to change the number of shares, the average share price, and cost basis, things like that. There we go. Finally, we get to the copy. And then we're going to go back over to the Google Docs spreadsheet. We're going to go to the M1 data tab. And again, what's going to happen is it's going to change the next dividend for the 5 positions, the Broadcom, the SCHD, as well as McDonald's, Waste Management, and Lockheed Martin. So we're going to see those change just by a few cents here and there. But it's also going to change here in the monthly. We'll put down the 1006. .12, and of course it's going to change the quarterly and annual as well, but we're going to take the new monthly cash flow average and we're going to put that over on the monthly average dividend tracking tab. Let's go over to the M1 data tab. We're going to paste in what we grabbed over at M1, So pay special values only, and it's going to update that. Looks like it's got that. It did change fractional shares for SCHD and the other 4 positions. So we'll go back to the dividend portfolio tab, scroll up, and we'll just take a look at the subtle changes. Again, it's only $20 for each of the positions, so it's not going to change it as far as dollars, but as I'm doing these changes all the time, 2 buys per week, and I have dividend drips as well as dividend increases, these amounts just keep going up all the time. So we can see the prior dividend was $7.01, but the next one's going to be $7.07. And then we can see SCHD has moved up from 970.57 to 970.76. But that assumes that the dividend is going to be the same at 82 cents, which I don't think it's going to be. And we'll scroll down for the other ones, the last 3. We can see McDonald's, the prior dividend $12.62, and it's going to be $12.73. And it's because I snuck these in before the ex-dividend date, so these will pay in September. And then next up, Waste Management, we crossed over to the $7 threshold at from $6.97 to $7.04. And then Lockheed Martin still under the $5, but we went from $4.85 to $4.96. And we'll take a look at the new dividend here. We started at $1,612, and now we're going up to $1,630. Very subtle, but this was just a $100 deposit, so it's not going to really move the needle too much on the monthly cash flow average, but it does do something. So let's take that $1,630 over to the monthly average dividend tracking tab. Scroll all the way down here for a new line here. So 1006.30. And then the action, of course, the event was the $100 deposit. Of course, a lot of this 18, you can see it's bumped up 18 cents, and this stacks on. It's not just a one time. This is 18 cents more additional income every single month going forward. And the reason why this didn't move up as much is, it has to do with what you're buying. And we went over here to the actual code of the page there, but we'll go back to the buys, and we can see these are not high dividend payers like Waste Management, Lockheed. SCHD is the highest, and Broadcom does not pay much of a dividend at all. McDonald's is kind of in the middle. So these selections really weren't high. It wasn't like I bought all Verizon or all BST, which would have moved the needle more, but I picked a good selection of things that are going to have growth in them, as well as dividend growth as well. They may not pay a high dividend now, but I think in time it will snowball, and it definitely will pay a lot more. So let's close this out with we'll take a look at my total net worth. My dividend portfolio, the average Joe dividends portfolio, that's about 15% of my total net worth. We'll take a look at what else it consists of. I have an account at Vanguard. I have an IRA here, and it's in ETFs like VYM, VTI, VXUS. I have a small Roth account here, and that is in VXUS. And here is my taxable brokerage account. More ETFs in there. And then here's my current employer. I've been with them since March 2020, so not for too long, a little over 4 years. And here's the amount in this 401k, and I do not even max out my 401k. You can see what it's in. It's in a boring S&P 500 index through Fidelity. And then at M1, I have an IRA there. You can see it's in more ETFs. And here's my dividend portfolio here, the 259,508. Here's the cash I have there, M1, and then here is like a 1-year emergency fund over at Synchrony, and then here's more short-term amounts here for it's just like a 2-month kind of emergency fund over at Capital One. Here's the value of my home, just a simple 3-bed, 2-bath home that I recently built in February, and here's what I owe on it, so that's my only liability. My cards are right now at 0 balance, just paid it off, and I do not carry a balance in the credit cards. Total net worth is over the $1.7 million mark right now. And also something I don't really go over this much, but this is the average monthly dividend. This is counting all of my IRA, 401k, things like that. So if I were to, if I was able to access this money, of course the IRA, 401k, I can't access that without penalty. But once I'm at that age, here is what my monthly dividend is going to be, and this includes interest from savings accounts as well. It was over $3,300 I would just have of cash just rolling into me for doing absolutely nothing, for just owning the stock or keeping money in a savings account. So I also track that as well. And also you can see here where I'm tracking, my net worth. You can see my expenses, and I track the gap against my W-2. In most months, I do have a surplus, but there are a few where I didn't, and that's okay. That's going to happen to us. But overall, though, I always do have a gap, and you can see where we're at. And here's dividends received so far in August. But we'll go back over here, and we can see the breakdown of my net worth, which is mostly stocks. A little bit home equity. Here's some cash, and here's pre-tax compared to after-tax. And then U.S. international breakdown. So that's all I had to show you guys was, the 5 stocks that I chose to buy fractional shares of, what the effect was as far as my dividend income going forward, adding just these little slivers. But hey, every bit counts. If you're starting out, even if you start out with $100, just do it. Start investing and building your wealth. So thanks everybody for sticking to the end of this video. If you got value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. My next video is going to be me going over all the dividends I received for the month of August, because this weekend on Saturday I'll receive my final 2 dividends, and I'll show you proof that I've actually received those dividends rather than just reading them off from a spreadsheet. I'll actually show you the proof that I've received these dividends straight into my accounts. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and everybody take care.